I don't know how much of a following this game will have ultimately, but if it does have enough of one, this is the type of stuff where someone on our subreddit will post this amazing diagram of like, here's this character's path, and all of these individual sequences happen in this order for them from these locations. Like, here's the map, and here's the chronological order, and it's like the kind of stuff you get for River Song and Doctor Who, where it's like, no, this is the series of events. This is how it all lays out. Is that a radio sound? Check around behind here real quick, maybe? No? Y'all playing with me? I think they're having a laugh. Alright. Just trying to interplay static into the ambiance now, even when it's not around. How is that locked? It's open. Okay, I'll just accept that. Bathroom. Weirdly open air windows bathroom. Nope, this one's just for texture. This thing had to take such a long time to make. Like, this game is a relatively short story-driven thing with not a lot of mechanics and everything, but man, this world had to take a very long time to craft. Just for all these tiny details you could easily walk right past and not even look at. Like that bathroom there. That bathroom's full of assets that we've never encountered up to this point. Another reference to how sudden everyone was taken and how recent it was. The grill is still smoking, just like the cigarettes.
I tried to leave the observatory, but couldn't. I stood at the gates, but couldn't conceive of a world outside. The strangest feeling. As if the valley, Stephen, everything was simply irrelevant. An idea of something, not as something itself. I'm losing track of time. Of whether I'm asleep or awake. My fingers have gone numb at the tips. It's like they still feel. But what they feel is no longer for me. Like the signal has been hijacked.
Starting to feel a lot like she's the one that may have caused all this. Well, I mean, that's kind of a given in a lot of ways, but it's starting to feel like she somehow became the conduit for this infection, like it came through her and sort of adopted her face. Lots of crosses around here. I guess they gotta keep that imagery alive if they're gonna call it Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. Keep reminding people about the religious connotations, whether or not they may be what the story is ultimately about. Is that... Yeah. I think we're halfway around the loop. I think that's the entrance. This is the central path. So this is the other side of the room that had the stage on it, and the kitchens and everything. I think... Can I open this? That's the wrong sound for that. That was a knocking noise for a wooden door, and that was a chain link door. Can I get in the back now? No? I was thinking of trying to get behind the stage, but maybe I'm not meant to. No other doors around here. And I believe that's the front entrance roundabout, right? Sure seems like it. What's this one?
We're not even really talking at the moment, if I'm honest with you. I've been sleeping in one of the empty chalets. Otherwise, we just sit there in silence. And then he goes off and pretends he's not drinking from one of his secret little stashes. And I pretend I ain't noticed. And then when we go to bed, it's all I can do not to scream. I don't know why we're still together. Except I do. Still love him.
You remind me of Mary when she was your age. If we'd had a daughter, I'd have been proud if she turned out like you.
You don't have to say that.
Just talk to Robert. Tell him you know he's drinking again. You two can work it out together. I know you can.
I wish I had your faith. I just don't want to be the person who stayed because they were afraid to move. I know you can't dwell on the past. I know that, but sometimes you do just think, don't you? What if the accident hadn't happened? I could have been anywhere right now, rather than stuck here rehearsing Peter bloody Pan and fixing tumble dryers for the umpteenth time. Oh, Frank, you are an angel.
Don't be daft. You're still young, Lizzie. You got plenty of time to be whoever you want to be. Just don't keep using that leg of yours or that husband as an excuse.
Got plenty of time left. The irony there, right? The real definition of irony, too. Which is when we know something that the characters in the play do not. And so they make statements about things and we know the contradictions because we know the real situation. I haven't been down there yet, have I? That's not the same place. Some of it kind of blends together because there's definitely a lot of trailers and tents. That might have been that might be the one that the radio was in a moment ago. The soccer ball. Oh yeah, been to that one. Slightly off then. Get back to the road. That'll give us a sense of that'll give us something to cling to as we navigate and move around and lose track of what direction we're facing in. Yep, there's the bathroom area. There's a unfortunately very polygonal tennis ball in a game that looks so great otherwise. It looks so out of place. Oh yeah, this has to be something. I say about every building. Indiscriminately. Oh, this is just a bathroom. That I cannot open. Usual schedule. They're really consistent about their bingo schedule. And their Peter Pan rehearsals. I don't know if I'd like it here. Another grill that was being used before everyone vanished. This table was fully populated.
This is a public service announcement from Haverton District Council Emergency Measures Committee. Road and rail closures are being implemented to help contain the outbreak of influenza. Please remain calm and indoors. Local community leaders, head teachers, scoutmasters, and members of the clergy will act as your representatives during this period. Be sure to report any symptoms of illness.
Don't know if you can trust them.
You shouldn't be smoking, you know. Not in your condition.
It's Stephen's fault. He got me started again.
I'm not going to try and stop you, but the weather's looking pretty rough. There's a storm coming.
That's what Stephen said. He said he'll meet me, but there's things he has to do first. He seems to think that all of this is connected to him. I don't know. I'm going anyway, whether he comes or not.
I'm assuming Stephen has thought of a way through the quarantine.
Oh, he's clever. You gotta give him that.
Do you trust him, though?
Well, I love him. So I'd hope that was good enough.
I hope so, too. Listen, if you can't get through, for whatever reason, I'm getting people together at the village hall, rounding up stragglers, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've got all the campers together here, doing a show. Peter Pan. The kids love it. It'll take their minds off things. Hey, did you see that?
People keep having that response. For a while, the reoccurring thing was the planes. Now they keep referencing people suddenly being like, "Did you see that? We don't see that every day. That's something different. What is that?" I imagine, I don't know, could it be the beginning of the plane strikes, or could it be some other event? Some major catalyst we don't know about already. These multiple perspective paintings on the same table. High quality stuff. Are they supposed to be drawings from like 5 different people? Or are they supposed to be drawings that were all made by one person changing positions? We definitely still only have 2. I'm curious if this game's story is gonna have like a finality to it at the end. There's gonna be a grand reveal of everything, or if it's gonna be still ambiguous, but just over at some point. I can just go over here. Ta-da! Does this open though? Sure doesn't. Alright. Oh, what's down here? Like a hiking path? That looks pretty neat. Alright, curiosity's got the best of me. Let's see where this goes. A little bit of pop in there. I'm sure it's a lot to load because this game uses so many unique assets that has to figure out which stuff to render at once. It's just a little side path to some of the same stuff. That seems to be all stuff that the road will lead me to. So I'll stick to this. Probably loop around to where I started. Storm just got a little bit tougher, didn't it? Oh, hello.
You're sure no one saw you? Mrs. Graves?
I can hardly look her in the eyes. Are you sure we got enough money?
Yeah. Once we're in France, we can start working anyway.
My dad will bloody skin you.
We'll be in Spain and married by the time your dad knows we've gone.
Well, if that went according to plan, that's extra quarantine breaking right there. You have a family trying to take off, the ones with the dog, I think? And then you have these kids taking off to another, well, not quite kids, but they're taking off to a whole other country. That's how whatever this is jump, if they're infected, or if this thing latched onto them, that's how you have it jump the ocean. If they're going to Spain. I'm gonna backtrack on this road for a little while, just because I want to see where that hiking trail started. I think it's right over, yep, there, right there. Just don't want to leave any gaps in my path.
This is a public service announcement from Haverton District Council Emergency Measures Committee. Road and rail closures are being implemented to help contain the outbreak of influenza. Please remain calm and indoors. Local community leaders, head teachers, scoutmasters, and members of the clergy will act as your representatives during this period. Be sure to report any symptoms of illness.
Doing our scans. Really extensive. Wow. Drove a car all the way out here. Couldn't just park it out front? Oh, hello.
Di, whatever's wrong? You look terrible.
Mrs. Graves.
Sean's baby Dylan's he alright?
He's fine. Di, come on.
It's okay. Let's get you a cup of tea.
Mrs. Graves, I need to tell you.
Leave it, Di.
Do you try and get out of the valley? All the roads are shut now.
I know, I was driving really fast, but the other car was on the wrong side of the road and... Oh, God, I think
Di, for fuck's sake, leave it.
It's alright. Hey, you're alright. Sean's alright, baby Dylan's alright. That is what matters. Everyone's alright.
But...
No. Now I need your help. Some of the children, they're getting quite frightened. So Rachel and I, we decided to push forward the show, keep them occupied. You said the other night that you play piano. Can you help with that?
Yes, I suppose so, but Mr. Graves, Rob...
Can look after himself. He's a big boy now. Don't worry. Just head to the hall and find Rachel. She'll tell you what needs practicing.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Graves.
And Sean, go and find Reese, please, see if he needs some help.
Yeah, of course.
Go on.
Oh, Robert.
So the family didn't escape. We saw that accident earlier. That was the accident where we saw that the truck was spilled out into the river. Tools everywhere. Who knows if he lived or not. It sounds like they were fleeing the city, and that truck was on the wrong side of the road, and there was an accident. He must have diverted at the last second and drove right off the road, and despite their attempts, they were unable to break quarantine. If they couldn't get out, I find it unlikely that the kids got out. So maybe the quarantine did succeed ultimately. At whatever cost that is, though. I am curious to see if there's clear evidence that everything escaped here. Whether they successfully wiped it out, or if it just got out anyway. Or if this was even an effective strategy for wiping it out. We're about 2/3 of the way around the loop. Alrighty. Yeah, there's the double swirl. Is it gonna keep getting bigger and adding details as I explore? More and more little balls and stuff attached to it? No one's getting through that. That door's cracked open, that usually means something. Is that a gazebo down there? Sure is. Oh. Oh, it's those big dumb bicycle things with the floaty wheels. For some reason, for a moment there, I thought someone drove the tractor into the river or the lake. Well, there's a sound. That's some sci-fi sound. Another grill. Should I approach one of these? I probably can't go in there, huh? Nope. Can't really get close to them, but there they are. So people were probably using those at when they left. Surprised people in these trying times were even trying to like play around with floaty bikes. Seems like they wouldn't be in the mood, or maybe they thought that they thought they'd be safer out in the middle of the water. Can't get any closer. They don't seem to want me to interact with those bikes. Ooh, more flowers though. I like the detail that they actually get pushed aside as you... Oh, as I say that, that one didn't. A lot of them, at least, will get pushed aside as you approach, which is a nice detail. That makes you feel so solid. It seems to only apply to the yellows, though. The white flowers don't seem to follow any sort of physics.
This is a public service announcement from Haverton District Council Emergency Measures. Road and rail closures are being implemented to help contain the outbreak of influenza. Please remain calm and indoors.
Oh, God, Stephen. What's happening to me?
We ask that your representative during this period.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna find Kate. Or if we do find Kate, and that's like the final reveal of this whole game, I don't think she's gonna be Kate anymore. Something changed to her. Something major happened to her that led to possibly all of this. Glowy balls, what do you have for me? Come back.
She's not in her office either.
Well, they live nearby, don't they?
Yeah, in the village.
You don't think she's gone to look for Mr. Graves, do you?
I think Lizzie knows Robert will turn up when he's sober. He'll be alright.
Do you want me to go and look for her?
No, it's okay. Come on, I promised the kids another shot the last number, then I promised everyone a cup of tea.
You're very like her, you know. Like Lizzie.
Me? No, I'm not. First chance I get, I'm out of here.
Now that's freaky. Seeing them interact with the environment. Oh, that's unfortunate. The water splashing effect doesn't follow the rotating object. In fact, some of it shows up through these beams for a moment there. Oh well. It's a pretty convincing effect when nothing's moving. They just had to go and make something move though to break the illusion. Because that water surface was not rotating. Alright, we're on the final stretch here. I kind of oh wow, there's a nice sense of space, seeing the windmill again from behind. Helps establish where your relative location is. Is that a dead bird? Sure is. I like games that have you explore a big 3D space and make it clear where you are relative to things. That's one of the things I like about playing the Dark Souls games, is that you can look around and be like, oh, that's the belfry that I was at earlier, and stuff like that. And like you get such a good idea of this location you're exploring. Because modern games, well, all games really, are often just a series of levels that are loaded independently of each other, and it's often not one big world. It doesn't establish that feel. So whenever it does crop up, it feels like something special. That static being woken in, that's being woven into the background is definitely getting a little distracting. So I keep thinking I'm gonna find something, but it's just in the background now, like PT or something.
Hello, Catherine.
It's Kate. Elizabeth?
Lizzie. I've heard a lot about you. It's good, you know, you and him, it's not difficult or anything.
Should it be?
I'm sorry?
You said it wasn't difficult. I don't see why it would be difficult. You and Stephen were together a long time ago. He moved away. It certainly isn't difficult for me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, or...
Well, I'm not offended. Listen, Elizabeth...
Lizzie, please.
Lizzie. Right. You seem like an okay type of person. And I'm not trying to be rude, I promise. But let's try and be realistic here, huh? Let's, try and do our best. It's a British thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. I suppose it is. We'll do our best then.
Getting a little friction between the Americans and the British. Restricted area, private property, keep out. Helps reinforce the emotional boundary we're seeing between those characters, that's for sure. Can't top the fence, really? No spot to open it? Such friendly folks, the Americans. Are they calling me to the main hall? Main hall? Is that what they're doing here? Did I find the last story point? And now we're gonna see something happen in that playroom? It feels like that room with the stage has to have something happen, and it's just so set up for an event to happen. If everyone condenses in there during the final moments of the catastrophe.
Makers to the main hall, please. Or holiday makers to the main hall.
I would fully expect that to be where this goes. That we get that the Lizzie storyline culminates in whatever happens in that hall. That maybe that's where they all huddle to. Maybe that's where they were all huddled when everything went down. When everyone was killed.